guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and for this one, I'm going to be reviewing another one of my all-time favorite Disney animated feature films. Now, of course, number 1 being The Great Mouse Detective, number 2, The Nightmare Before Christmas, number 3, Robin Hood, number 4, Zootopia, number 5, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, number 6, The Lion King, number 7, Beauty and the Beast, number 8, The Jungle Book, number 9, The Little Mermaid, number 10, Wreck-It Ralph, number 11, The Emperor's New Groove, number 12, Aladdin, number 13, The Aristocats, number 14, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, number 15, The Black Cauldron. Now, for number 16, it's Home on the Range. Yep, Home on the Range. It's kind of cool and interesting, huh? That it's my number 16 favorite, you know? And I am one of those few people that actually do like Home on the Range. I mean, I know because it really didn't do so well. It was a major bomb at the box office, etc. And that pretty much kind of killed the industry of hand-drawn animation, basically. Well, for Disney, that is. That, and, you know, also around that time, DreamWorks' last hand-drawn animated feature. I forget the name of it already, but those were the last two hand-drawn animated features that Disney and DreamWorks would do. Officially for DreamWorks, but for Disney, well, not really, not quite, but, yeah, and you know, because as of now, like, you know, because it was at that point, you know, because films like Shrek 2 and The Incredibles being computer animated features, they are so good, and they are, you know. But, you know, if you know that, etc., just, you know. But, as I said, I'm one of those few people that actually do like Home on the Range. So, yeah, so I think it's good. The characters I think are pretty good, too. They're funny. I like the animation style to it. The songs are good. Once again, by the great Alan Menken. You know, he's good at doing songs, and of course for Disney. So, and you know, he had been doing quite at that point. He was doing so much with Disney, and you name it, starting from The Little Mermaid and up to the rest of the Disney Renaissance. You know, well, except for a few, like of course The Lion King and oh yeah, Tarzan, that's another one. And I'm pretty sure, well, no, of course, you know, Dinosaur doesn't count either, but yeah, so anyways, so, with Home on the Range, you know, because I like the opening and the opening song to it, you know, home on the range, up to the land where the men are tough as cactus, you know, and we get to the first appearance of our first character, Lucky Jack. You know, folks around these parts call me Lucky Jack. I can do a decent impression of Lucky Jack. And anyway, so we get the rest of the characters, like, oh yeah, even in that opening credits, like, not really opening credits, but the opening, like, Lucky Jack just getting into trouble and, like, getting into trouble stuff. Well, you know, from owls to a rattlesnake, it's funny, and a coyote. And then, of course, we see the sheriff, and we see Buck, the horse. And we see Maggie the cow, and, you know, because her herd and family were taken away from Alameda Slim and the Willie brothers, and with Alameda Slim's yodeling. And then, of course, you know, then later on, because Maggie, she's transferred to a dairy farm, which is Patch of Heaven, and, you know, another good song, too, A Little Patch of Heaven, Way Out West. That's a good one, too. Yeah, and of course, we get the rest of the characters, you know, from Grace and Mrs. Calloway, actually, and Jeb the Goat. Yeah, he's pretty funny, too. And the little piggies, and, God, what's the chicken's name? You know, voiced by what's-her-face, Mrs. Potato Head. I forget that chicken's name already. But, and so, yeah. And Pearl, yeah, the caretaker, the one, you know, I get the caretaker of the farm animals, you know, and lives in Patch of Heaven. You know, everybody, this here is Maggie. So, Maggie and the rest of the farm animals meet, you know. and like Mrs. Calloway, you know, a showbon cow on a patch of heaven. I think that's how she says it, showbon cow. And the cast is really good, you know. Rosanna Dawson, I'll give her this. She is good at doing the voice of Maggie. She definitely is. Jennifer Tilly and Judy, what's her last name? I now can't remember. Good lord. Who voices Miss Calloway. They're both good too. Yeah. And what's his face? I forget his name now too. Who voices Buck? He's pretty good too. And the personality of Buck, really good. And the sheriff, I think the sheriff's name is Sam. And yeah. And as Pearl calls him, and like he informs Pearl that, you know, because, you know, they're gonna auction off Patch of Heaven, etc. I forget what it is, what goes on, but, you know, the reason of that I forget. It's been a little bit of a while since I've seen that. Not too long, but, you know. And so, you know, Maggie has an idea, like, they're gonna go to the sheriff's office and, I guess, take care of this or something like that. And, you know, Maggie, Mrs. Calloway, and not Pearl, Grace, the three of the cows go off. And at one point, you know, we cut to Buck, a dream sequence, him fighting off the bad guys. So you think he got the drop on me? Well, think again. And then we see, is it Rusty the dog? Is that the dog's name? I forget. The sheriff's dog? I'm pretty sure, yeah. And then, you know, the sheriff is informed, you know, telegram that Rico, best bounty hunter in the West, coming in. And, you know, Rico being the perfect opportunity to capture Alameda Slim. And also, you know, the cows, they make their way into town. And, you know, because they can't really tell, and I guess they're cows, you know, that, you know, things are like popping and like loud sounds like boom or like bubble gum popping and like two cowboys, you know, like spitting and hitting the glass bottles. And they think it's gun shooting, you know, the cows. And they make their way into what they think is the sheriff's office, but it's actually a saloon. And and it's kind of funny. And just they come right on the stage, and the rest of the audience, the cowboys or whatever, they're enjoying this, you know. And the saloon girl or whatever, you know, at the bar, get those cows off the stage. And what's funny is one of the dancers and singers, you know, because yeah, like I get Maggie kind of swings her around and then tosses her, goes sliding on the bar, you know, the desk, and then hits one guy, and it turns out to be the dancer or the singer or whatever is actually the father of the guy who he hits. That joke really in a Disney movie, if you get what I'm saying? Wow. I didn't get that joke until years later. That's weird. Did kids get that joke? I don't know. I really don't know. Probably they didn't. I don't think they did. But years later when they grow up, they get the joke by now. That's kind of an adult joke, don't you think? But, you know. But anyways, and so, you know, they, Buck and Rusty, is that dog's name Rusty? I'm pretty sure. They meet up with them, and, you know, they bring back the paper that the sheriff gave to Pearl, you know, because of the auction or whatever it is. And then of course Rico comes in, a dramatic entrance, like the dark clouds, and like some of the, like, one guy putting the stamps like Rico, and Buck says Rico. Even the flies say Rico. And then Rico comes in, he grabs a fly and, you know, sorry. And so, you know, it dawns on Maggie, because when he hears, you know, what the sheriff tells Rico how much it is of capturing Slim, and that's when it triggers Maggie that if they capture Alameda Slim, then they can save Patch of Heaven. So, you know, and yeah, at the end of it does happen. So, there's a little fight between Maggie and Mrs. Calloway, and then, of course, the sheriff breaks up the fight and ties them up with ropes, including Grace, on like a carriage or something like that. And that guy is, I think he's Chinese or Japanese, I can't remember. Correct me too. Sorry, but yeah, and they go off and such. And throughout a little bit of the film, like as they're making their way to the town, and as they're on the ropes and the carriage, the coach or whatever, like Grace singing, and it's really kind of it's like with Maggie and Mrs. Calloway, even what's his face, no wonder they were for sale, blah blah, or no wonder they were free. What he says in translation. And then, of course, like later on, they, Alameda Slim and the Willie Brothers show up. Even right before that, like these two cows, like trying to flirt and hook up with the cows, the dairy cows. One of the cows named Mary, and I forget the other one. Just pardon me, but what's a cow like you doing on a private blah blah blah. And so, of course, Alameda Slim and the Willie Brothers come in. They like beat up and tie up the three cowboys that have the cows with them, and even the one riding, taking over the coach and such. And Slim comes in, and we get another good song, the yodeling song. You see, I yodel, yeah, good too. And what's this? I forget his name already. God, but I know who it is. The voice of Alameda Slim. Yeah, he's good too. So Randy Quaid, that's right, Randy Quaid. He is good as the voice of Alameda Slim. He does a good job voicing a Disney villain. So yeah, Randy Quaid as Alameda Slim, and the song is good, the yodeling song. And then of course, Maggie and Mrs. Calloway get hypnotized, but it doesn't affect Grace. However, because Grace still tied up to the carriage, at one point on top of the hill or something, and it kind of the carriage kind of takes control and like rolls down, and like even picks up Mrs. Calloway and Maggie, so they're unhypnotized. The three cowboys that were tied up, they come running after and chasing Slim, and and Rico comes in as well. Slim gets away, the carriage hits Rico and Buck, and and so Rico goes off on a new horse, and Buck, the three cows, they go off too. They get Slim, and Buck, goes off to get Slim too, and I guess to please Rico. So, and so later on, we cut to where Slim hides his secret hideout or something, and it's kind of funny between him and the Willie Brothers. It's hilarious. Then cut back to Patch of Heaven, and what the animals are doing and they're talking about and such, that are even put for sale as well. Even the little baby chicks that are kind of funny, because the baby chicks, if you look at the baby chicks, they kind of cross face or something, I don't know. But you get the idea. And then, of course, cut back to the three cows, and like Buck they're right behind him basically, and he tricks them, like he messes up the trail, like goes around, spins crazy, and just, and Mrs. Calloway can tell, this has Buck all over it, this clearly has Buck all over it, all over it. Like she would know that, knowing Buck. So, and then the storm and flood come in, and then, Mrs. Calloway has had enough, and a little fight between Mrs. Calloway and Maggie. And then come to another good song, and a beautiful song, Will the Sun Ever Shine Again? And I remember this, like at D23, Alan Menken said that he wrote this song, I think, shortly after the 9/11 attack, which, I can see that. That makes sense right there. Even the words in the song, very touching, and, what it means, etc., if you get what I'm saying. But anyways, and so, cut to the next day, the storm's passed, dried up, and the cows meet up with Lucky Jack, and like Grace tells them, he's our very own wise man, and even like Lucky Jack tells them a story because of a place where he and like a bunch of jackrabbits used to live, for hundreds of generations, and it got taken over by Slim. That's where his hideout is. That's where the jackrabbits used to be in Lucky Jack. So both Lucky Jack and Maggie have a lot in common with Slim. So, both against and hate Slim. So, and so, of course, all three of the cows and Lucky Jack, they go after Slim. Buck is still on the run and getting Slim. And then, of course, we cut to back with Slim and the Willy brothers, and that disguise that Slim has, you know, trying to being like a businessman or something like that. And even when he puts on the hat and even then put the glasses on, the Willy brothers think he's somebody else. Like, hey, who are you? What'd you do with Uncle Slim? And oh, it's still me. And then Mr. Weasley comes in, as Slim calls him, but he's really called Wesley. You know, the name's Wesley, voiced by the great Steve Buscemi. You know, he fits the character too. So yeah, you have two cast members from Monsters, Inc. in this. Jennifer Tilly, who voiced Celia as Grace, and Steve Buscemi as, you know, who voices Randall as Mr. Wesley. So yeah, pretty cool. And so, you know, Mr. Wesley brings in the train, you know, and like, so, Slim, what do you say we get these cows on board ASAP? Huh? Let's go. Yes. After I count my money, blah, blah. And so, cut back with the cows, and Buck beats them to it, but Junior, you know, Slim's bull, guarding the place, and like, cows only. He's pretty good, too. And, of course, the cows, you know, they get welcomed in, etc. He lets them pass because they're cows, duh. And even with Lucky Jack, even Buck asks, what about the rabbit? Well, obviously, he was with the cows. So, anybody who's with the cows, I guess, would know them. They can go in, too. So, and of course, you know, Buck, well, you know, he gets what he deserves, you know, like, obviously, Maggie pretending that he doesn't know Buck and such. Yeah, because after the crap that Buck had been spewing at them, just, you know. And so, you know, Buck walks off and has another plan of trying to get Slim, and Buck, like, he meets up with the horse that Rico now was riding on, voiced by obviously cameo voice of Patrick Warburton. And Buck, like, telling him, you know, tricking him, you know, horsewhip and such, kind of freaking him out and telling him to run and such, and just, thanks, man, I owe you one, blah, blah. And, like, Buck, you know, see ya, blah, blah, you know, he must be taking lessons from that stupid buffalo, you know. Junior behind him blows, like, you know, just steam at him, and he's like, oh, no, you know. And we cut to Slim, he's counting his money and such, and, like, at the same time, him counting the money, and the Willy brothers counting all the cows, you know, that's a bad idea. Like, you'd lose track on how you're counting, because that and with somebody else counting, just, I don't think not even say if you could read it in your head, your mind and such, you know. But anyways, and so, you know, as after all the cows are counted, and, you know, 4,000 whatever, it's not that much, it's not that close much of the cows that were supposed to be on board. And, of course, Grace comes in, and one of them, there's one up there, you know, and, like, Slim about to do his yodeling, like, you're gonna like this, yodeling's an art. Slim yodeling, and then, you know, doesn't work on Grace. Well, duh, you know, because Grace, she can't get affected by that, hypnotized. And, yeah, and earlier, because, like, Grace, like, takes some stuffing from Lucky Jack's tail, you know, and, like, it just, like, you know, now you watch their toots, and, you know, stuffs it in Miss Calloway's ear, and, I don't think, no, not to Maggie, because it's not really shown. Like, she must have gotten to the other side of the tracks in the mine, so, you know, with the mine cart. And so, you know, Slim goes up, and, you know, like, Mrs. Calloway and Grace, they trick him, you know, like they're being hypnotized. And, you know, and then, oh, no, Maggie was on that side the whole time, as where the other two cows, they were coming in, so, you know, and, like, watch your back, Slim, as the Willy brothers say, and that chase sequence, you know, it's kind of pretty cool, like, just, it's funny, you know, they escape such. Buck gets a hold of the minecart, and then the cows get a hold of the minecart again. Rico riding Buck again, and yeah, and then a part with dynamite going off, you know, and yeah, and it leads down to where they all crash into the train, you know, with Wesley and one of the Willy brothers, the one with wearing red and such, like a red scarf, you know, and a hat with red stripe around it, so, you know. And so, you know, the cows get tied up and such, put in the train, Slim going off, you know, to buying Patch of Heaven, Buck riding on Rico once again, and It turns out because Rico was working with Slim the whole time, his partner, so... and so, you know, Buck realizes that he's made that this is a big mistake, and he stopped like riding so fast and like trying to boot off Rico and fighting off against the Woolley brothers and even knocking them out and such. You know, the Woolley brothers getting knocked out, and Buck knocks out 2 of the Woolley brothers, and then he knocks out Wesley. And then Lucky Jack, he gets a shot at finishing off and knocking out one of the Woolley brothers. It's the one with, is it the one with the, I think it's the one with the yellow, or the one with the blue scarf, you know, themed blue or something. Yeah, it is. And Lucky Jack knocks him out with a horseshoe. Yeah, I'm like, ha! Lucky shot! And then finally, Mrs. Calloway, she knocks out Rico, like, Mother Mercy. Is this the end of Rico? And basically it is, yeah, being knocked out and such. So all 5 of them are knocked out, the Woolley brothers, Wesley, and Rico. And so they free the cows. They detach the train, you know, just leaving the coaches behind and having Rico, the Woolley brothers, and Wesley locked up in one, you know, closing a door on them in one of the coaches. They go off and such. Those 2 cows that are trying to hook up with Mrs. Calloway and Maggie, you know, howdy, ladies, well, or maybe we can help you. They get knocked by a stop sign or something like that. And I think even Grace, you know, starting to like them. Bye, come and see us again. Grace! Yeah. Funny. And so, you know, and they're almost about to hit the Morning Express as Maggie, according to Maggie. And Buck and Lucky Jack, they you know, because there's a switch up ahead, as Lucky Jack says. They change it and such. Actually, the lever kind of breaks, but Buck uses Lucky Jack's peg leg to do it and such. And see you back at the farm, girls. And Lucky Jack, this happens all the time. I guess that's Lucky Jack's phrase. You know, this happens all the time. So, cut back to Patch of Heaven. And, you know, Patch of Heaven about to be sold and such. And to the imposter, which being, you know, well, Alameda Slim in disguise. And, Pearl about to leave and such, you know, packed up, everything else. Then the train comes in and, like, you know, they crash in and, like, I like with Miss Calloway, this is going to be messy. Just, yeah, it is. And Slim almost about to sign it, and yet, you know, but the train comes in and has that stopped, you know, it stops everything. And what the idea of crashing your train on my property? It can't be. As they're about to charge him, he pulls out a gun, and then the farm animals, they take action and take on Slim, beat the crap out of him or something like that. Then finally goes flying, you know, after the chickens, like from Jeb and the piggies, and then to the chickens pouncing on him or something. Then the pigs, they use like a lever or something, you know, and poof, goes flying. Not Mrs. Calloway, Pearl, and God, these names, because I'm talking kind of so fast and can't catch up. Grace and Maggie, they like kick him, and he goes flying and right into the train hole, well, you know, where the whistle is or something like that, you know, where the steam comes out, whatever it's called, the pipe hole or whatever. Mrs. Calloway blows the whistle, and revealing Slim, like taking off part of his disguise. It's Alameda Slim! You think you won? It ain't over till the fat man sings, starts yodeling, which stops Maggie about to swing and swish her cowbell right up to Slim, and then Grace jumps and kicks it, and then lands in his mouth. That gets him to shut up and not yodel. And Slim is finally under arrest, and Patch of Heaven is saved. So, you know, and I remember, you know, Grace says, nobody messes with Pearl's girls. Yeah. Buck and Lucky Jack come back in, and then, you know, Maggie now being part of the family of Patch of Heaven and the farm animals, and even, like, say, other new additions, like, obviously, I guess, Lucky Jack, Rusty the dog, yeah, that's his name, and Junior and the two cows, you know, that we're trying to hook up with the 3 cows. Yeah, and yeah, so, and once again, the Patch of Heaven song playing, and then it ends, you know, them dancing, and one, you know, the baby chick, you know, cock-a-doodle-doo, and then boom, the credits roll, and a couple of songs playing. One just I forget the name of it. You know, Wherever the Trail Goes or whatever. And one song sung by pop stars or something like that. I forget the name of the song, but you know. And I did listen to a little bit of Alan Menken's version of it. So, but Home on the Range, I think it is pretty good. I'm probably one of those few people that actually do like this film. I guess it is a bit mixed and such, you know. And I remember at D23 because that part with, because there was a thing at D23, like songs sung by Alan Menken and Richard Sherman, and Alan Menken singing the songs from Home on the Range, and like even brought up saying, I think it's worth seeing, and even the audience applauded, like they were agreeing too. So, you know, I guess they like it too. So, you know. But yeah, and you guys let me know what you think of Home on the Range, because for me, I like it, and I think it's pretty good. And what the heck, I don't care. 10 out of 10 stars. That's all I'm going to say. 10 out of 10 stars. I like it, and I think it's pretty good. So what the heck? 10 out of 10 stars. So again, 10 out of 10 stars for Home on the Range. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Home on the Range. More new review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review video. Take care, and peace out.